When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stewart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
Welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Here we are once again, another radio adventure, and today we are remote at Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty at their brand new corporate office. The views are incredible, so if you're driving, you can picture we are on the 17th floor right on the West Loop. It is incredible. They have a beautiful facility to serve their buyers and sellers and for their associates. And we have Paul Killian. He is the Vice President of Operations. Paul, welcome to the show again.
Thank you so much, Bill.
Here we are. So exciting to be at your new office. Let's tell people a little bit of the latest right here with your company and tell them a little bit about this new, beautiful office.
We like to consider ourselves the leading luxury company broker in Houston. We have 6 strategically placed brick and mortars. In the north, we have Cypress, Kingwood, and Woodlands. In the south, we're in Webster, which services Friendswood and Clear Lake. In Memorial, we're in the heart of Memorial. And then also, as you just mentioned, here we are just outside of the Galleria in our central Houston location.
And it is fascinating to see the views in every part of your office on this 17th floor. It is just fun to look out the window as we're talking here, and I'm sure you're getting great feedback from people that are here to visit you and your associates.
We're getting amazing feedback both from our clients and from our agents. This is a huge improvement for us. This is significantly more representative of the brand that we want to bring our clients into and have our agents enjoy as well. As you mentioned, it is fun now. It was a long road to get here. It was a 2+ year road to get here. We were extremely methodical in our process, and we talked to a lot of agents. We even talked to clients. We visited multiple sites to really get the vibe and the interest of what would be the most comprehensive place for someone to do business in.
And your company has been so well known for many years here in Houston. Let's remind people how many years you were at your previous location, because I lost track of that.
It was almost 20 years, yeah.
That's quite a while. So here we are at the end of the year. We're finishing up business. It's still very exciting, and we're looking ahead for 2020. Give people an idea of some of the things that your company is doing as far as wrapping things up, keeping the momentum strong, and looking ahead to this brand new, exciting year.
Sure. So we almost never wrap things up, right? It's this just endless, there's no finish line in real estate ever. And we just came off a third quarter, and I was lucky enough to present just at our last sales meeting about how well we're doing, how well we continue to do as a company, as a brand. And we just have a lot of exciting things coming up. We recently just announced we have an email marketing system that we're looking to upgrade. It's the training starts in the next couple of weeks. That's going to go live in a few weeks. We have a new contact management system that's about to roll out in another month. So that's the great part, I think, about being part of this national company, Sotheby's International Realty, is that not only are we locally working on products for our agents and for our clients, but they are working on behalf of us, and they're working, the bigger deals and everything. So while we can focus on the hyper-local market here, we know that we have someone at our back constantly working on these new systems and programs.
And if people have been tracking along with your various appearances on the show, they may remember, but we'll remind them now that you were with Sotheby's in New York. Let's give people a little bit of word on that and what they're doing and that connection once again.
Yeah, sure. So my background is in corporate finance and operations, and so I worked in the New York office for 8 years, helping Sotheby's International Realty nationally really support their operations. And I thought that was a great experience for me to come down here. When Sotheby's purchased Martha Turner Properties back in early 2014, I came down to run the operations side of the company. And so I think how I was able to bring value to the company here in Houston is just understanding what happens in California, what happens in New York, what happens in Florida, and to bring all those experiences and to talk directly to our agents and clients here in Houston and to roll out programs and things that we know will have really long legs and that will be really supportive.
Give us an idea of some of the things. Again, it never ends. It's ongoing, but some of the things that may be happening perhaps in the real estate market or here at your company in 2020.
Well, so, I talked about us locally and nationally. And so nationally, for example, they're rebuilding our entire website, Sotheby'sRealty.com. And that has been a year-long process. And so when Sotheby's likes to do something, they really do it well. And so sometimes it takes a little bit longer because they want the execution of the product to be really strong. And so that is about to roll out in the next few weeks. And what's really interesting now with technology is you don't wait until the whole package is complete. You sort of roll it out in phases. And so what we're going to see with this new website, Sotheby'sRealty.com, is that certain pages will be upgraded as we go along. That way, both the agents and the client experience is improved, as opposed to trying to wait another 5 or 6 months for a completed product. They can start to see the results of a year of work sooner than later.
As far as other technology things that are happening, technology is on the march like we've never seen before. Give us an idea how some of the things are blended in, but give us an idea maybe some of the technology that might be ahead, or some of the things that you're bringing in to the mix right now.
Yeah, so I think a perfect example of that is our parent company Sotheby's worked directly with Facebook to do something called the social ad engine. And what that is specifically is it's a product from Facebook, and so it uses Facebook's AI and machine learning. And so from an agent, it takes them just a couple minutes. It's not a hard process at all, and you upload 3 photos. And so instead of Sotheby's trying to develop something for Facebook, we work directly with the Facebook engineers, and they created a product that does what's called ABC testing. You put this ad out there to promote your listing, and Facebook sees which picture is getting more views, and then it stops promoting the other 2, and it focuses directly on that one image to maximize impressions.
So it sounds like the real estate people, the associates here, have so many tools at their disposal to help buyers and sellers all the time.
I mean, that's really the goal, right? The goal is to really support the client, and so almost all of our technology is set to help sell listings or to help bring in buyers. Like I said, every quarter we have something new coming out, which is fun. And then, of course, on the back end internally, we completely revamped our whole intranet system. It's now called the Hub, and it's a whole new computer language, actually. And so we can do so much more with it. And so when you talk about agent efficiencies, this is a way that we can help our agents be in the office less, even though we love our brand new office here in Central Houston.
Now, if I had an office here, I wouldn't want to leave. I don't know how much work I'd get done. I'd be looking at the beautiful views.
Yeah, what's been amazing is we're seeing agents come to the office more and stay longer, which is exactly what we want to happen. We purposely build out collaboration areas. We have different types of seating. Some are just the normal tabletop conference rooms. Like this one, we also have high tops. So we tried to cater to every work style. And so whatever your comfort level is, however you communicate with your client, however you work, whether it's a desktop or a laptop or a phone, whatever your primary source of communication and medium to get things done is totally supported here.
And in terms of keeping ahead of trends, staying on target with the things in the industry, certainly you do things, attend conferences around the United States, maybe beyond, that a lot of people go to, but there's also some that are unique to your company. Let's tell people some of the things you're doing out there to stay current and find out what's going to be happening next in the real estate world.
Yeah, and again, I think one of the things I love about this brokerage, and specifically Sotheby's, is we have twice a year national management meetings, and it just happens that literally next week we're having a national meeting here in Houston. So we have all the execs flying in, and we have all the decision makers from the different states flying in, and it's a 2-day conference where we get updates, what's happening in different markets across the U.S. And so we hear what's happening in L.A. and San Francisco and California, and then we hear what's in the Hamptons, and we hear what's in Jackson Hole and Palm Beach, and just these different areas that we can learn from other people's experiences. And it's always extremely valuable. We hear from the legal side, the ethics side, we hear from the financial side, and obviously we hear from the marketing side. That's by far the biggest piece. And so next week is when we'll get an update on what the next 3 to 6 months is going to look like for our company in terms of products.
And certainly all those things go into the mix to help people sell and buy properties with your associates, and in a tremendous way it all comes together.
Yeah, absolutely, right. And so We talk about sellers and buyers differently, and I think to capture from a lead generation standpoint, you do have to do things differently, whether it's on social media, whether it's a website. But at the same token, it's still a client, and the client experience has to be the same on both sides. And so we work very hard on all of our marketing materials to make sure they look the same and have the same feel. Obviously we have brand standards, and I think that's another advantage too. Is so if you're in Italy or Japan or some of these other markets, it's the same look and feel, and then there's just that comfort level.
And your brand goes hand in hand with the word luxury, but I like on a previous appearance where you define luxury. Let's tell people about that.
Sure. Luxury is not a price point, but a level of excellence.
There you go. Before we close this segment out, Paul, let's tell people what else you'd like them to know.
I mean, give us a call if you're driving through a neighborhood and see a sign. Absolutely call, look out. We have websites, we have phone numbers, we have all sorts of different products. And if you're curious, just do a call or an email. We have a very large staff on hand, which is extremely supportive to the agents, which ultimately means they're supportive to the clients. And I would just say, ask a question.
And we're talking with Paul Killian, Vice President of Operations at Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty. And Paul, let's remind people the website.
Sure. Our new website is going to be sotheby'srealty.com.
One more time.
sotheby'srealty.com.
It's too simple.
Too simple.
Thank you so much, Paul. We're going to come right back with even more. Stay with us, please. Stewart Insurance is proud to sponsor Real Estate Matters. As a Stewart company, we focus on uniting real estate and insurance. Our goal is for all clients to be properly insured. When you are properly insured, you're confident in the insurance decisions you make. Whether it's professional liability or homeowner's insurance, everyone deserves to be confident. We invite you to join the properly insured Stewart Insurance. Connect with us at stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. Stewart Insurance, stewartinsurance.com. Welcome back, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We are still at Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty, the 17th floor, on location. Super fun. Our guest is Paul Silverman. He is the sales manager right here at the company. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's an honor to be on your show. And
it must be a super exciting job to be the sales manager of such an organization.
It really is. It's a huge honor, and it's kind of something that it was just a natural fit. I've been with the company since 2012, love the culture, the agents, the management, and it was just a natural fit that this would be my next move. So,
and we'll remind people, as you were with the company for so long, you were a real estate professional. You were out there serving buyers and sellers every day, right?
Correct. So I am one of the rare people that I've never done anything other than real estate since college. If you actually look at my high school yearbook, when it says, what do you want to do 5 years after graduation, I had real estate.
Is that right?
Yeah. So I worked in a few different capacities, mainly in the new home industry, until probably about 2009, then went into brokerage. And I'll never forget the day that Martha Turner herself called me to come have coffee with her, and who could say no to that offer, right?
An offer you can't refuse, no question about it. I find it interesting, too, that you knew at such an early age. How did you know, and what was it about the market or homes that brought you in early on?
It is odd because I had nobody in my family that was in the business, but I always found it interesting, just the whole process of listing a home, buying a home, and then kind of the natural, morphing into the new home industry. So it's just something I was always interested in, and luckily it fit me.
And it would seem that your experience as a real estate professional and now sales manager, you know exactly what the real estate professional needs as they're out there, and your insight is really so adaptable and so able to be used in a tremendous way.
It is. And, the interview process was interesting in that my first call with our recruiter lasted about 5 minutes. I didn't have any questions. I know the company, I know the culture, I know the job, I know the agents, and it kind of reminds me, if we go back to the native Houstonians that remember Bum Phillips. One of the things that made him such a great coach was, and his players said this, is he wasn't there just to call plays. He was there to be part of your life and to be there for you, whether it was in that application of football question or a problem with life. And so these people have been my friends for the last 7 years. And so being their manager, it kind of completes the relationship.
That's very interesting. And the idea of coaching, that's something we all need, especially in the real estate professional, every day, to stay on top of things and to also to know about the market trends and to be better able to serve the buyers and sellers.
Correct. We actually just had the honor of completing a program called Ninja Training. And so there was about 50 of us in a room taking probably the best, most personal training you can get as far as how you really interact with your clients and build these long-term relationships. And it was great training. It was great reaffirmation of what we already do, and it was really a great bonding experience with the over 50 people in the room.
Let's tell people, as far as the scope of your work as sales manager, we mentioned there's 6 locations. About how many agents are there total?
Total, we have about 250. And spread out through our offices. The way we have it is our management is centrally located here, and we go out to the offices. We do not have assigned managers. We want to make sure that we are available anytime for any of our agents. And if there's one manager that one person gets along with better or has a better relationship with, it's whatever is best for the agent. And really, that's when it turns into recruiting, it's a great tool to have. We just before the radio show had our business planning meeting. And so once a year, what we do with all of our agents is, and our employees also, is we say what things worked for the last year. And I typed the list, and we were at number 39 before we got to improvements that they want to see. And one of the things over and over was how nice our staff is, how helpful our staff is in management support.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because as we think about technology, all companies talk about that. There's so many things that are happening right now, so many things that we'll see that are brand new in 2020, but friendly people, the basics of building relationships still are so important and hopefully not forgotten by anybody out there in any business, but that's really important to keep that anchor in personal relationships, because it's so important. And to be, it sounds simple, but just to be friendly at every level of contact with people.
Correct. And I think one of the things that we try to train our agents is that's what this is all about. It's about taking care of our buyers and our sellers. It's really easy to get absorbed in technology and apps and think that will do the job for you. There's nothing like picking up the phone and calling a client. There's nothing like a handwritten note card. There's nothing like making that personal touch that earns clients that will use you over and over.
Also, as I'm thinking about it, again, we were right here on the 17th floor looking out at the tremendous views and the cars moving about the city. But Houston, these past few years has expanded in every direction, and your offices are there to serve people in all those directions. It must be interesting to see what's going on, like right where we're at, inside the loop, but also to have the knowledge and learn from the ideas that are in the Woodlands, at Cypress. And from your perspective, hearing that data go back and forth and the success and the challenges out there, it has to be fascinating.
It really is, and it's from a couple different vantage points. It is neat to sit in one of these great places in our office that has an amazing view and see how the city's changed. Our Cypress office, I used to build out there in the late 90s, and to go out there and see how it's developed with all these amazing developments and just the growth, it's a real honor to see the city grow like it has.
Now that you mentioned the 90s in Cypress, I'd love to see pictures. I guess somewhere online they're there, because I guess there was not that much out there in the 90s.
I remember getting off at 290 on Cypress Rose Hill, and there was nothing.
Well, as we think of those markets, Cypress, Memorial, anywhere else where you have offices, give us a word as far as the differences and maybe how the activity is, say, the Woodlands or Memorial. How are things at these various offices?
Like we like to say, every market is its own individual market with its own characteristics. Generally, things are good. We see a lot of positive things coming from our agents. Our office is growing. Just Saturday, I was at our Memorial office and was answering a question for an agent who had multiple offers and was doing a backup on one of her listings. So, still doing very well.
It's some beautiful properties around the Memorial area, and of course everywhere else too.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things I like about Martha had these great commercials that she used to do of 20,000 to 20 million, and that really is our philosophy. And it's neat to see our brand in so many different markets and so many different price points.
The other thing is we're thinking about, yes, these markets around Houston, but the connection that you have to the world that does serve your buyers and sellers. Certainly when someone puts a home where we're looking at right across the street, if they list that home, the advantage is the worldwide connection with Sotheby's.
Exactly. And kind of like Paul mentioned earlier, all of the international marketing tools we have, the international recognition, I have a unique vantage point in that before we merged with Sotheby's, I took the family to Sedona for a vacation. And we're driving around, and of course, realtors never forget looking for real estate signs. And I'll never forget seeing a Sotheby's sign in front of a home and thinking, man, that must just be the nicest house in the world to have Sotheby's. That makes it very proud for us to adopt that brand. And when people ask what was a merger like, and I kind of say that it's kind of like BMW merging with Mercedes. Two very well-known, respectful names.
Let's tell people some of the things that are going on from a training standpoint, or if there might even be an agent right now that may say, hey, Paul, I want to be part of your team. What are some of the things that they learn from a training standpoint here?
Sure. So our training encompasses a lot. We have social media classes. We consistently have classes on pricing, doing market analysis, MCE classes, you name it, because we believe we want to expose all the tools to the agents and have them adopt which ones will make them profitable and more efficient.
That sounds great, Paul. And as we wind up the segment here, what else would you like people to know about the team, the company, or anything else?
I think it's an amazing place, and that's why when I made the choice to come out of the field and be in management, there was no consideration of going anywhere else. I love this place. It's like a family for me. The family atmosphere is great. The management support is great, and I could not imagine working for any other company, and that's why it makes recruiting very easy because, people have seen my dedication and my passion for the company, and now all of a sudden it's just in a different capacity as sales manager.
We're talking with Paul Silverman, the sales manager of Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty. Paul, if people want to reach out to the company or yourself, what should they do?
Just call our main number and ask for any one of the managers, and we would love to help.
There you go. Thank you so much, Paul. And we're coming right back with even more. Stay with us. Cyber criminals are on the offensive. In real estate, the average loss of a wire fraud scheme is $130,000. How do we fight these risks? Establish a good defense. At Stewart Insurance, we believe there are two sides to a formidable defense. Manage the risk, offset the risk with insurance. Concerned if your insurance is offsetting the cyber risk? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if you are properly insured. Connect with us at stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827, 866-798-2827. Welcome back, everybody. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am still your host, Bill Nampick, at Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty, the headquarters in Houston, Texas. We now are going to talk with Tess Cheney. She is the relocation director of the company, our friend, been on the show now about 5 times or so. Tess, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill, for having me.
Here we are again, right?
Again, we keep going and going years and years later.
I love that. In fact, we're approaching show number 300. You were on show number 2. That's incredible.
This has been a great journey together.
And you know relocation like no one else. So let's tell people, first of all, a lot of companies don't even have a relocation director. That is your title here. Let's tell people what you do as the relocation director.
So as relocation director, Bill, what I focus on is business development for the company as a whole. So I'm out there marketing with relocation companies so that they feel confident sending their transferees to Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty and promote our team that we have that we've built for these relocation clients, specifically knowing the ins and outs of what they are going through and all of the team effort that it takes to get one family from one place to the next for their job in that short time frame. So I'm doing business development for the company, keeping the client relations positive, responding to any good feedback, responding to any other feedback that we may have. I also manage the broker-to-broker referrals for the Sotheby's International Realty Network. So anyone who may not be in a corporate relocation for their employment, but moving from one location to the next, we help pair them with a qualified agent through the Sotheby's network in the next location that that they're going to based on their needs, their personality fits. And so that's been a big portion of our business this year. And then out and just strengthening our community partnerships. So creating programs for our agents to be able to market themselves within their communities and get in front of more clients.
And people, whether they're buying or selling, the interesting thing about real estate is that they always want to know about it, even if we're not going to sell our home for 7 years from now. But we always want to know what's going on in the real estate world around us. In addition, we really want to know what's going on, especially in this city, in terms of relocation. And we've had the feel that people are moving to Houston from everywhere. What is that climate like right now, Tess? Are people still coming to Houston?
Houston has a great economy. We're still seeing lots of people coming into the city. We're also helping people transition out of the city. So Houston's a big global hub. A lot of headquarters are located here, but at the same time, a relocating employee, part of their resume is to be in different locations and move around all over the world. And so that's part of being here in Houston is we're a big hub, a centralized hub for people to come to, but at the same time, it's important for them to get out and see other places and work in other parts of the country in their employment.
And for people that are moving to Houston, generally speaking, where are they coming from? Are there more people coming from out of the country, out of the state? Where?
Right. So we're seeing both international and domestic relocations. Primarily within the domestic relocations, we do have specific feeder markets that come into Texas in general. California, Florida, Colorado, those are all states that are friendly, where we send some of our residents to, and they also send theirs to us. So we see a lot of back and forth between those specific markets.
How about from out of the country?
So Houston is the top international city in the United States. And so we have more people from different parts of the world here in the Houston region than any other city out there. And so we're seeing people from all over, particularly North America, our friendly borders right here. We'll see a lot of people coming in and out of that. But at the same time, there have been changes in international regulations, and companies have had to really work on where their employees are and making sure that they're continue to move their employees around internationally and bringing them back to the homeland or sending them out. So we see a lot of people in the oil and gas field as well. There's a lot of countries that we're sending people to that are not probably a top destination market, but at the same time very important and integral to their business.
And if someone is pretty much anywhere, let's say they're in another country and they reach out to your company, say via email, or maybe they call, are you the contact that they reach?
Absolutely.
You're the first point.
I'm the first point of contact from somebody that is coming in from anywhere outside of Houston. And so we would start with finding out what they need, what their needs assessment is, and then within our company have the best agent and resources and also other people that make a real estate move happen, whether it's their lending institution, the title companies, building credit, things like that, everything that they would need, the roadmap to get here in Houston and purchase a home. We have the team for them ready, but I would be the first point of contact.
Boy, I know a good title company, by the way. I think it's Stewart Title.
That's right.
So let's help it. How many times, whether it's on, the internet, an email, or if it's a phone call, how many times do you talk to someone that puts in the conversation, I've never been to Houston, Tess, what's it like? And how do you describe it?
Absolutely. We hear that more often than you would think. What is it like? It's big. There's a lot of options for you with any hobby that you may have. We have something to offer here in Houston. And so there's a lot of culture. There's a lot of arts, a lot of green space. Houston's done an amazing job at renovating their green spaces. And so that's often one of the surprising feedback that I hear is that there is so much green space and parks and walkability and outdoor activities for people to do in our climate.
What about as far as people leaving the city? Would they contact you as well? Or let's say they say, hey, Tess, I'm here. I want to sell my house, but I want to go live in Philadelphia. So you're able to
Absolutely.
help them.
We definitely are. So we have what we would do is partner them with one of our agents who specializes in their area, and then at the same time look to our partners within the Sotheby's International Realty Network to see who is going to be their best fit, because we really do work hand in hand, and so they need to know what's available for them in their next destination before they can truly make some serious decisions about what they want to do here.
So you have a busy job.
Absolutely. I love it.
People in, out, all those things. And you've been in the real estate world for many years, but what was it about relocation where this became your specialty? Because it has been your specialty for...
It's been about 13 years that I've been in the industry, and so I've been doing relocation for about 7 or 8 specifically. So I was like Paul, right out of college, got my real estate license and dove into this world of real estate. What I love about relocation and being specific with this role is how many people that I get to be in communication with. We do a large volume of business, and we have a lot of people that we are in communication with, and this is such an important period of their lives, their family, making sure that everyone remains happy, remains calm, and gets everything out of this move that they want to. So it's nice to be able to speak to people, have that relationship with somebody, even though if it's the first time that we've spoken, or at any point that we become an instant friend, we become a confidant, we become someone that they trust, and so that's an amazing feeling.
Well, the real estate transaction also has the opportunity for complications, but then if someone's coming from another country, even more so, because there's different things they're used to there. They have to conform to certain things here, so you have that extra special set of skills.
Yes, part of my role and my continuing education within the relocation industry, one of the designations that I chose to get was the Global Mobility Specialist. And basically that is part of the cultural awareness and making sure that you are aware of how other cultures are operating in their business sense, how to approach people within different parts of the world, and how to make this to be a smooth transition for them with their different cultures. So there's a lot of things that you wouldn't think of, that it's important that that we know and that we're aware of up front, so that we don't make any mistakes when welcoming somebody into the city.
The other thing that comes into mind is that you first talk to someone perhaps on the phone, and then after, I suppose, a certain journey or through the process, you finally get to meet them. That has to be part of the fun and the compensation for you in your role.
Absolutely. And that really, when we were talking about technology earlier, the phone is what we use most often. In our department, someone is always on the phone speaking to a transferee. We're constantly answering the phone because we know how important hearing the friendly voice on the other line is to that person coming in, for someone who's going to pick up the phone right away, not to have that anxiety of the wait period of, sending an email, being online, trying to figure things out on their own, becoming overwhelmed. It's important, and people feel very confident when they call in, and we immediately have answers for them. We immediately start to make a roadmap for them specifically on how we're going to help them. So I think that that's a big key driver of what keeps us going, is the friendly voice on the other end of the line.
Indeed it does. And Tess, what else would you like people to know about what you're doing?
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Bill, for having me. What I would like our people to know is how to contact us. So we have a email address, Houston.relocation@sotheby'shomes.com. And we also have a phone line that we are happy to answer all the time, 713-558-3266.
Again, the number is
713-558-3266.
And it strikes me, Tess, that people certainly here in Houston listen at the time of broadcast, but in addition, sometimes long after the broadcast, people hear it on YouTube or on our website. In other countries, we may have inspired them to move to Houston.
Well, I'd be happy to talk to them and get them down here as soon as possible.
There you go. Let's tell them the website as well.
Sotheby'sRealty.com.
Tess Cheney, Relocation Director. Thank you, Tess, for being on the show yet again.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it.
We're coming right back. Stay with us, please. If you are a real estate professional, please listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, home buyers, sellers, and title agents, and their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your real estate business is properly insured. Connect with us at stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. No show's complete without an actual realtor that's out there selling, helping sellers and buyers every day. He is Jonathan Williamson with Martha Turner, Sotheby's International Realty. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited.
Well, let's tell people, you help people all over the city, I'm sure, but your area of focus, let's talk about your area of focus with the company.
I established myself in East End and the East Downtown area. I sometimes hear people refer to it as Edo. And I've been over there. I mean, I got my license with sort of the intention to set myself up over there in 2013 and been over there since. And now, I'm all over the inner loop, sure, but that's definitely primarily where I do the most of my transactions. I guess right now about half my listings are over there.
In East Houston?
Yeah, East Downtown. Yeah, East Downtown, East End, Greater East End.
Interesting for a variety of reasons. Some people find a niche in one area and so forth. It kind of evolves. But the area you're in, or that's your primary focus, I think people call it Edo, east of downtown. So a lot of people are not familiar with that. They hear about it. They've heard the term, especially this last year or so.
Sure.
In that area.
Yeah. So it's real cool. I mean, I'll go ahead and there's really two areas there. There's the East Downtown, what's known as Edo area, and that's one management district. And then that's a triangle shape. And then the other part of it is called Greater East End, which is a different management district. And for the purpose of what I do, I'll just simplify it and combine them. And your borders there are essentially, 59 at downtown, the shipping channel on one side, 45 South on the other, and it goes all the way to 610 there. So great big rectangle. It's a huge territory. It's probably from the south side of it. I mean, man, if you live in one of those houses in those neighborhoods at the very south end, without getting on the freeway or whatever, it's probably a 15, 17-minute drive to downtown. So it's a pretty large area. And it's different, right? If you're in the East Downtown area, that's best known for all of the townhomes and the mid-rises that have been built over there. And there's a lot of great commercial development, new restaurants, and all of that coming in over there. When you get in a little deeper, it has a more residential vibe. I would say it's probably most reminiscent of the Heights. It's actually some of the very same builders that developed the Heights in the early 1900s, then moved over to the East End and built neighborhoods over there. So you've got the same kind of feeling of your craftsman bungalows, your Tudor styles later into the 30s, and big, beautiful oak trees and all of that.
Well, let's give people an idea why we're hearing so much about it right now and why it is becoming popular.
So, I mean, I think that's fairly simple. My buyers over moving into the East End, if you talk to any of them, I'm going to be very honest, if you asked them if money was no object where they would live, they would probably tell you that they wanted to live in the Heights or the Montrose, but they've been priced out, right? So they're looking for an area that has a lot of the same sort of characteristics and charm and character, same convenient proximity to downtown, but they can still afford to get over there,
So speaking of affordability, someone's out there thinking right now, well, how affordable is it?
They're all over the map, I mean, all of these sort of, just like if you go into the Heights, right, you can get in there for maybe on the low end, 400,000 in parts of it, and then you're all the way up into the millions. In East End, there are fixer-uppers out there that you can still pick up in some of those neighborhoods for as low as 135,000. In fact, I'm going to show one of my builder clients one of those after I leave here today. And then we've had some recent sales in some of the more desirable neighborhoods in that area that have gone as high as 700,000 lately, but that's a rare deal over there, right? More commonly, you're basically between 250 and 450 over there.
What about new construction? Is there new construction
There is
there
new
to be had?
construction. Like I said, close to downtown, you're very, very much townhomes, right? 3-4 story townhomes. And then deeper in, there is still a fair amount of new construction going in. Frank Liu with In Town Homes has a whole section he's about to develop. Deeper in, Drake Homes has a new development that, in fact, I believe Meritage Homes just purchased that one. But and then there's a lot of smaller builders. I work a lot with a company called Refuge Development that's been doing a lot of new construction over there for the last 5 years. And typically what they do is buy homes that are in tear-down condition. They can't really be saved. And then they build something new construction that's sort of similar to what's been there all along, right? Like kind of a craftsman-style pier and beam bungalow. It's just a 2019 build now.
It sounds like it could be a fun place to live once you're there and you have your home up to speed. Let's say let's take another number. Let's say someone has $400,000 and they don't want a fixer-upper, but they want a home, maybe a small home, but they want a nice home in that area. Is that
I can get
possible?
you in a beautiful home for $400,000. Like $400,000, you're definitely
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you want 3,500 square feet, no,
that's okay.
But 1,500 to 2,000 square feet,
There you go.
I can get you into 400,000, new construction, beautiful, or one of those classic older homes that's been completely gutted and remodeled and is beautiful.
So there you are. Opportunity is knocking.
Absolutely. And the area, I mean, there's just so many fantastic things going. I think we're up to 7 or 8 independent coffee shops, which is fun. And there's just really cool projects going on. There's like a swimming hole project that's going on. It's a bar with a swimming hole. I'm excited about it. There's the East River project is going on the old KBR site. It's a 160-acre development that I think is going to just completely redefine the area in the coming years. So many cool things going on in the area.
And that, I think, also speaks of the city in general, Houston, all the suburbs. There's so many creative ideas out there. I guess that's why people are still moving in, also why it's fun to live here. How do you get them ready for that buying adventure in the Edo area?
I get a lot of people that their primary concern is proximity to downtown. And of course, we do have the light rail going straight through the metro rail. People like that. A lot of the people that are incoming from other cities, public transportation is a thing that's super desirable. And, native Houstonians, maybe not so thrilled about it in general. They love cars. But when you get them from New York or London or, all sorts of places, they love that. We've got that. We're 15 minutes from the Med Center even over there.
That's right. That's another feature.
The universities, Houston and TSU are right across the freeway from us. And obviously we're right in the shadow of downtown with the stadiums and the convention center and all of the job opportunities there. And then on the other side, really even the Port of Houston is creating a lot of jobs. So a lot of jobs on every single side of us, and that's always a great thing. We talk a lot about that. We talk about people have safety concerns sometime. A little known fact is we actually have a lower crime rate than the Heights and Montrose, two of the areas that, people are moving to from there. So it's a safe, peaceful community over there, and it's really great.
Well, if people are interested, certainly they should reach out to you. But also, before we close out this segment, Jonathan, what else do you want people to know about that area or anything else that you're doing?
In that area, I would just love for people to know that it is a really safe and peaceful community by and large, and we have a great thing going over there. I love the local businesses. I love the community. Really friendly, wonderful people over there.
He is Jonathan Williamson. Jonathan, how can people reach you?
My name is Jonathan Williamson, and my phone number is 713-299-7331. You can email me at the longest email address in the world. It's jonathan.williamson@sotheby'shomes.com.
Yeah, there it is. I'm looking at it right now. Right. Jonathan Williamson, like there is another.
There is. He's in California.
He's probably listening to the show. Jonathan, reach out to Jonathan at 713-299-7331, right?
Yes.
And thank you so much. We're coming right back with even more. One of our favorite subjects, insurance. He is John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance. John, welcome to the show.
Howdy, Bill. Nice to see you.
It's nice to be in a remote location. Here we are atop this beautiful building. I just love looking out the windows.
As fantastic as our studios are at Salem Media, I can't imagine a better location than what the folks at Martha Turner Sotheby's has here on the West Loop.
It is incredible. Let's tell people, what have you brought for us today that we should be reminded of or think about in the world of insurance?
Well, last week, Bill, we started talking a little bit about as companies get ready for 2020, and they do some of their kind of reflections on the previous year, as well as they begin to plan, that one of the things that we just had recommended for our real estate broker friends is they consider their insurance and start asking themselves some questions. Do I have a staff? And are there situations where people might assume that my staff has made a mistake that could hurt them? Are they using electronic communications in any way? And if so, how are they doing that? Do they have the proper procedures in place? Are they having open houses? And is there staff at the open house? And are they protected if something were to happen there? So just those kind of questions to keep in mind so that they can make sure that they're protected, so that they and their team can continually help people find the American dream and find their first or their next home.
That's right. And when we think, I love the idea of planning and reflecting this time of year. It's so important and happens all the time. But in the smallest form, it happens every day, where we think about our next day and all those things. As far as planning and getting ready for the year, a lot of times people don't put insurance into that mix. And we have all kinds of insurance in terms of protecting real estate brokers, certainly, and even our own personal insurance. But it is important to reflect upon, are we properly insured? Absolutely.
So as a broker, that was the only question that we would ask, or the favor that we ask, whether they have the conversation with us or with their insurance advisor, is, am I confident in the coverage that I have? So if something were to happen, would I still be able to continue to do business?
That's right. Well, give us an idea. What are some of the other things you want us to think about today?
Well, I think also, to have the same kind of conversation with your clients. So are they having the proper homeowners insurance? Are they insured properly? Do they have windstorm coverage depending upon what part of the city they're moving in? Have you asked them if they considered flood insurance, and do they have that proper coverage? Do they have an insurance partner that can help them with those kinds of questions? So that would be some guidance as a insurance broker and a realtor that I would suggest that they at least can have those kinds of conversations with their clients.
Indeed, and your company certainly is poised all the time. We talked about training earlier in the show. Your company has ongoing training for all your associates, and you're poised to help people. You're able to help companies, all those things. What is the number they should reach out?
866-798-2827, 866-798-2827.
And before we close this segment, John, what else would you like people to know?
That it doesn't take a lot of time to truly be confident in your insurance. You just need to take some time and find the right insurance advisor to make sure that you understand what risk you're willing to take on and what risk you'd like to have the insurance handle.
And the beauty is, when they call
866-798-2827,
they're going to talk to a human being in short order, and they're going to be there to help them.
Absolutely. We've got a team of fantastic insurance advisors that are there to help.
John Bramlett, Stewart Insurance. Thank you, John, once again.
Thanks, Bill. 866-798-2827.
And as we wind up the show, here we all are, Paul, Killian. Paul, before we wind things up officially, what else would you like them to know before we close the show out?
I think to the casual observer in Houston may not have seen what's been going on recently in the landscape. In the last 12 months, we've had 2 brand new brokers come to town. We've also had 2 brokers leave, either through a merger or through closing their doors. And
like relocation.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. Yes. And so when you get that type of change and turmoil, it's just a lot of change, and I think that's really good. And I think what happens is it puts pressure on the broker to show that you're adding value. And so I'm a huge fan of the philosophy of more competition is just better all around for the client. And I think that we're in an environment now where every broker is really trying to step up their game. And us specifically, like I said, we have that national convention next week, and so we have a lot to talk about, and we're really trying to come out of this with the most products available to our agents, which in turn goes to the client. And I think that across the city, there's a lot of great brokers in this city, and I think that the clients are really going to win in the next 6 to 12 to 18 months with just increased service across the board. And I'm just really excited to be part of it. I think we have a lot of really, really good things happening right now in Houston.
It's going to be an exciting year, and those 2 words, adding value, are so important for all of us to remember all the time.
Yes, totally agreed.
And competition is fun to watch. It keeps us all sharp, especially in this city. And as we're talking about real estate, of course, but I'm also thinking of the restaurants for some reason. There is so many restaurants that are coming and going, and that keeps them sharp. And we are the beneficiaries, the consumer.
I mean, absolutely. You know, and chefs
hungry,
are coming. Yeah, chefs are coming from other cities to Houston, and they're doing more experimental type menus in Houston because Houston is becoming a food city where you can try different things, and there's an audience for it. Basically, almost every type of food there's an audience for, and Houstonians are just eating it up, if you will.
Indeed, there is. Relocation Director Tess Cheney. Tess, here we are. What else should we know? What would you like people to know before we close things out here?
Yes, so we have been developing new programs alongside what we do with our corporate relocation, our broker-to-broker referrals, but we've also really been focusing in on the community partnerships and how real estate in the schools, school districts are driving real estate prices, and what you're buying into in the community is a result. There's a very strong connection between those two. So we've done a big program where we've partnered with the school districts for a teacher appreciation type program if they're buying or selling in the city of Houston, that we are their partner. Our brand wants to support them because we know how much they do for our industry.
That's right. And I'm sure on that assessment, as you talk to people that are thinking about Houston or know they're going to be here, schools is a very important thing. They want to know about schools.
Absolutely, for everybody, because whether or not it's impacting them right now, if they have their family is in need of a good school district, but most everybody wants to know about the schools for resale value, whether it's something that's affecting their personal life or something that they will see in a return later on down the road.
And if people want to reach out to you?
713-558-3266. 713-558-3266.
And Jonathan, here we are as we close out the show. Final word from you. What else would you like people to know about your activity inside the Loop or anywhere else?
I would just like people to know that I'm here at Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty to work with many of the greatest agents in the city and be better every single day and offer the best possible service I can to my clients to their benefit.
And as we wind up the show and think about the future here, Jonathan, let's tell people your phone number.
Sure. 713-299-7331.
Again.
713-299-7331.
And we're talking about the future here. We have some great shows coming up. I want to remind everybody we have, as we're sitting here looking upon Uptown Houston, Memorial Park from this vantage point, we have the Uptown Houston team coming on in a few weeks. We have the eighth wonder of the real estate world, Dr. Ted C. Jones, giving us his assessment and predictions for 2020. That is coming up. So many great things. And Jonathan, should people be sad that the show is ending at the time of broadcast?
No.
Because it never really ends. That's right. You can always go to Stewart.com/Houston. Stewart.com/Houston. Until then, just go to Stewart.com/Houston, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.